does have the demonic purge, so he will be able to take off repel and guardian needle off of one target, but otherwise they're kind of out of luck until the Mirana farms up a diffusal blade. And since Fanny isn't going to be running it as a core Mirana, as they have to give that farm to the Spectre, that's going to be some time. So for now, it's just going to be about keeping the Spectre up and kicking, farming heavily, because she's got a pretty heavy game on her shoulders. Right now, EG are going to be dropping a lot of push very early on. They're going to be establishing tons of early game momentum, and DD are just going to try to buy time, just try to avoid the bad fights, get a couple pickoffs here and there, and try to maintain control of the map for as long as possible.
Certainly right about that. Now they will do a 5-hero smoke into the Radiant jungle, looking to get some initial wards down perhaps, as well as always that opportunity for a first blood if they could pick it up with Centaur Shadow Demon. There's a lot of potential for killing there with arrows to follow up, but EG will not spring the trap. Instead they will spread about the map on the opposite quadrant, and they will be safe from this early invade. No wards have come down yet. Squee does have 2, and I think he's going to throw one down on the high ground here, get some vision of the bottom rune, and into the entryway to the Radiant jungle here. Yep, there we go. One of those Mike Wazowski wards, and Radiant Vision, they will put their 2 observers down, one in the mid lane and one up here at the top. Not blocking any camps, but just giving some nice intel into this area of the Dire jungle.
The battle begins.
Yep, so just establishing lanes for now. It's going to be Mirana. It's actually looking to be an aggressive try, almost in the sense of they want to dodge if they're worried about that, and it does seem like that is going to be the aggressive posture from... And I don't know, I mean, this Abaddon just kind of seems like he's roaming around. Generally speaking, he sticks to a lane pretty hard, so you want him to be starting in the lane he wants. And it is, in fact, going to be an Abaddon Omni dual lane. Both the light and the dark Arthas joining forces here to try to make things happen up top.
Oh man, not too often you see this lane together, but you're right, there is some interesting lore connecting these two, if you really think about it. So 2-1-2 for EG, at least to get things started. Arteezy on the Nature's Prophet in the safe lane, and that puts PPD on the Dazzle. They'll be down bottom here. Fierce solo mid on the Death Prophet. No big surprise about that one. We've already talked about this off lane. The aggro try for the Dream Destroyer still has yet to be revealed. Squee hiding in the tree line with Disruption skilled up, looking for a potential opening for a first blood. I don't believe they've scouted out Fanny either, but evil geniuses, they're no fools. They see 2 supports missing off the map, and they will posture accordingly. Arteezy, though, he is in the danger zone. This is looking scary. Disruption from Squee will not necessarily secure the first blood. He does have treants out, and even if he gets caught in the disruption, he can try and utilize those to block an incoming arrow if he guesses where Fanny is positioned.
Yep, so there are some things coming out, and there's some idea of where these are lurking, damage coming to Centaur, but until they get some points in the Aura or the Curse of Avernus, either passive, they're not really going to actually get any real kill potential. So eventually Fanny gets sick of it. He just wants to deny, he wants to harass, and he's going to break out of the tree line here. So they're not going to be finding that easy opening they're looking for, and they really do need to get the arrows to connect in this tri lane, because otherwise the Spectre just doesn't contribute enough. I mean, a couple of right clicks, a Spectral Dagger, it's all nice, but if an arrow isn't on a very particular target, when they're off the tower, then the kills are just not going to happen. In the meantime, I'm assuming that Zai's going to be picking up a TP scroll pretty soon just to be able to kind of react to the mid and the bottom lane as necessary. And in the meantime, they're just kind of keeping Bloody Nine off the lane as best they can, using a little bit of Photic Shield on the creep wave to harass. And now here comes the Curse of Avernus, the double slow coming out, the degen aura plus the curse, and he just can't disengage.
Actually got hit by an arrow. They didn't even need the disruption setup. There's the first blood drawn by the Spectre, and PPD gets put inside the disruption, so no shallow grave is able to come out. Great setup from the Dream Destroyers. Can't really count on those stray arrows flying through, but that time it will be successful. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Bloody Nine still getting dove on here as Universe taking a lot of tower shots. Will use the heal right in the face of the Centaur, but the tower just laying into him. Universe, 50 hit points to spare, takes a salve, and we'll be able to regen up a bit here. Zai now diving in, does have that first point in Curse of Avernus. Bloody Nine on the run, but another heal from Universe will do a lot of damage, and it is the Omni Knight that secures the kill. That makes
Squee's
it
dead.
1-1.
There's no way the Squee gets out of this. Like, he can go for the disruption, the aura will still stick to him, and he is going to be going down. He can't get away fast enough. No boots. One more right click from Zai, but he jukes through the trees. They're going under the tower once again. The creep wave taking the aggro for the moment, and yeah, Squee will finally fall as the shield breaks. So the rotation just ends up being more blood on the battlefield, and this is just leaving a free 1v1 matchup for Fear in the mid.
Yeah, we haven't really talked about the mid lane too much. It's been the most straightforward of the bunch. 20-0 on the DP and 17-1 on the Zeus. a fairly even trade, and they're just really farming away. Zeus level 5, Fear level 5, very comparable experience. Probably the least interesting of the lanes, I suppose, in this matchup. Down bottom, Arteezy not really finding a huge amount of farm, but to be fair, neither is the Spectre. They're both sort of focused on lane positioning and looking for proper openings to try and secure kills. And both of them kind of boxing each other out in terms of farm, I think does favor Evil Geniuses a bit more.
Damn. They're gonna, once they start getting around like level 7, level 8, that's when they're really gonna be collaborating for a hardcore push on the back of the Exorcism. But for right now, they're just happy just to make sure that they limit DD CS as much as possible. Hard to limit that for the Zeus. You can just arc lightning for at least the offensive CS. Not gonna get many denies here with just attack animation though. Beyond that, we are gonna see Spectre pick up 15 for herself. That's not too shabby, as she will be able to finish up the phase boots here. But up top lane, you cannot let this lane get in melee range of you. If you ever let them close, they're gonna just pursue you to the ends of the earth, and here he doesn't hit the stomp. The rotation from Arteezy, the death of Bloody Nine.
Yeah, no way he'll survive this one, and even an Orb of Venom now picked up on the Omni Knight, so you've got that slow in addition to the Curse of Aversion and the value point in Degen Aura. Yeah, it's pretty absurd how well these two heroes work together, even though it is a pretty crazy lane. A lot of obvious synergy, and now Arteezy will utilize this rotation to put some pressure on the tower using these treants, and I don't know if they'll finish it off in one fell swoop here, but we'll certainly do a lot of tripling damage. Doesn't look like the Dream Destroyers will make a rotation pop. Instead, they'll smoke up 2 supports headed towards the mid, and they will look for a kill on Fear. Glyph does come out in the top lane, tower with a few hit points standing, but yeah, she's destined to fall.
Wow, Fear just barely, narrowly dodging that out. The second the smoke breaks, the Observer Ward gives him enough vision, even at nighttime, to see it, and he immediately goes right up the river. So, okay, well, let's just join up with the guys that can keep me alive for a long time. Actually farming up the enemy jungle with that DD rune, as it is quite cost effective there. This does give Spectre more time on bottom, but in general, if they avoid death and they start just pressuring the towers harder and harder, it's less time in the game in general for Spectre to find those opportunities.
Yeah. And I hear an arrow, bullseye on the PPD. It's a long-range stun, but there's just no follow-up, and he will live. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Squee, he gets picked off by Fear. Just a double damage and a Crypt Swarm.
It's too low HP. It's actually really brutal. He didn't even get silenced, so defensive disruption could theoretically have saved it, but now we get the flank. Now Zai's just gonna go man up with the Curse of Avernus. One right click is not gonna hit just yet, and he's gonna have to go in retreat mode. No ulti on this guy, so he's probably gonna have to self-shield, and yeah, just keep running. Keep on swimming. Keep himself alive.
A little too speedy. We'll find that 6-minute rune illusion to fill up the bottle. I can appreciate Zai's man-moding there, but this time it won't yield a kill. Boots and Basilius up on Zai's Abaddon.
Man mode is what this game is all about. This is just gonna get disgustingly divey in a very short span of time. They have so many heals now. They have the Guardian Angel. With that, they can go pretty much where they want, and there's not enough magic damage coming out for them to really counteract that. We're going to see an arrow try to split the wickets, but yeah, Arteezy's going to be far enough back. He's going to be going for an Orchid build himself, so maybe trying to silence out a hero like Shadow Demon right when he's making a defensive play and prevent him as well from going for that Purge. In either case, whatever they end up silencing, they're going to get some good damage on that target.
Now, in the context of Spectre, we've seen an array of different builds recently. There's that old school kind of classic Radiance Rush, but more frequently we've seen this kind of fighting Spectre build where it's more like a Phase Boots, Wand upgrade, into a Drum or an Urn, and then he'll move around with that ultimate, try and stack up those Urn charges, use the Sustain to allow him to be more aggressive, and also gives him a little bit of extra kill potential. I think in this game, he'll kind of be forced to go for more of a fighting build because I just don't see this aggression from EG slowing down and giving Justin enough time to really farm up a Radiance off the bat.
We just see some pressure maybe coming out onto PPD here. He's kind of going toe-to-toe with Justin, who was farming up on the high ground with the dagger. But yeah, with some high nuke damage and the fact that he is kind of by himself right now, he probably is the easiest target for them to pick off. But they don't have full sight of him right now. Instead, it's the other way around. The Observer Ward comes down just outside of range of DD's Sentry, and that means they're going to have good control of that rune spawn until Zeus starts lightninging stuff.
Mid lane, they're starting to converge a little bit. Thought they may go in onto Squee, but looks like they'll be interested in just chipping at the tower. Fear level 8 now has that first point in Exorcism, doing the 304 build into that level 8 ulti. So pretty standard stuff from him, but that does mean this Exorcism is about as potent as it can be in these early stages. He'll be going for his Drum of Endurance off the Phase Boots, and actually not too far off of it. Bottom lane, Zeus will grab an illusion rune, and or no, he uses his illusion rune, pardon me, and DP will grab up the invisibility as EG. Here comes the death ball fear. I said fear. I meant to say blaze. All 5 of them grouped up in the mid.
Well, the ones that should be afraid are Dream Destroyers. Right now, they have absolutely nothing to do with this. Rank 1 Shadow Poison is their only consistent counterpush with an Arc Lightning, and either way, they're just not mana efficient enough to draw back what EG are bringing. They have the Guardian Angel. They can handle this no problem at all, and they, despite having minimal Arcane Boots, if none at all, I think, actually, it doesn't matter, because Universe will always have mana with that Soul Ring. And just going to go ahead, throw out the Repel. They want to commit to this last hit, and they will get it. Already being able to pursue, and Squeeze going down quick. Fanny dropping low 2 from the Wrath of Nature, but able to leap away. That's still tier 2 tower about to drop, and Arteezy wants more.
Yeah, he's not done yet. No leap now. Fanny will get caught by a straight Crypt Storm, as well as some auto attacks from Arteezy. That will make it a 2 for nil and a tier 1 tower. EG getting that snowball rolling down the hill, and they'll just continue on. This is the power of the lineup. They have so much sustainability. You mentioned that Soul Ring on Universe. They've got the Basilius on Zai, and they'll have plenty of mana just to keep pushing on. A lot of sustain from PPD to heal up everyone at once, and then that big focused heal coming out from Universe. The borrow time will get blocked on Zai, and so Zeus comes in with a nuke, but the tier 2 tower goes down. Zeus is the last hit here. On the side of Disruption, will take some damage, but gets repelled. They'll head for the head for the retreat. Now Stampede used. They'll finish off Arteezy as he tries to make it out. Unfortunately, now EG running a little bit low on mana, but Zai just going Mezbo. He'll finish down the Shadow Shaman. No ultimate on him, so he needs to be a little careful here. The Urn will get picked up, but oh, there's the turnaround heal. Arrow hits Universe, but Zai, he's not too afraid, and this Aquatic Shield won't even be needed to get the kill. We'll finish him off with a Mist Coil, and the Dream Destroyers, they're just getting picked apart here. Chobo tries to TP out. PPD will zap him down, and all that damage coming out as the tree ends around him, and that's the DPS from the Shadow Wave. Evil geniuses, just no need to back up. Zai will get caught in a disruption arrow, and this will be the end of him. No ultimate cooldown quite yet, and EG will settle down a little bit, but oh boy, a lot of momentum off that push. Already 10,000 gold in their favor.
I think somewhere in there you said that EG need to be careful. No way. They are just going as manly as they can be, going out and doing all the damage without really taking any. I'm honestly surprised that there are 3 kills on the board in favor of Dream Destroyers. Their burst nuke from Zeus is quite substantial, and they did lose one there. And then on the tail end of it, Abaddon did go down, even though I think actually the Universe was just barely in range to Soul Ring and heal. In either case, yeah, they do get a few kills, but it's a momentary reprieve. Spectre wasn't able to, in the interim of their push, take down the bottom tier 1, brought it to 80 HP, but it's now in deny range, and they're just going to continue the assault. Exorcism available. They don't even need it for the tier 1. Just going to DD rune this down.
Yeah, and I was going to say what they really need are some Arcane Boots, and PPD will fix that issue. He picks up that as his first item on the Dazzle, and now they have a lot more mana sustainability, which will certainly make things easier. Fear very close to the Yule Scepter Divinity, so that also will help deal with some of his mana issues. Up top, Squeeze in some trouble. Arteezy has the Orchid, and that'll be just a nice, easy solo kill. Puts him down, and Shadow Demon once again takes a tumble. Now bottom lane, tier 2 tower under assault. There is a glyph for the Dream Destroyers, and will they try to burn it to slow this down? Radiant glyph comes out, is in the mid. Bloody Nine and Justin look for a tower. They don't have much pushing power, and EG will win this tower race very easily. Finish off the tier 2, and now they can TP home. Arteezy rotates through. Bloody Nine is caught by the Orchid. Moonlight Shadow flies out. Omni Knight's there with the heal bomb, and that'll bring him down. Nature's Prophet unfortunately will fall in return, making it a 1-for-1, but EG still finding a great trade, clearing out the last of the bottom towers.
Yeah, DD still have some great mid to late game when it comes down to their global spells. The Spectre Haunt plus the Thunder God's Wrath. The Stampede can be used for a couple of targets as well, but it doesn't seem like they're going to reach that, not without a huge fight on their hands. I mean, right now, EG, they have taken down all but one outer tier tower. And by the 12.5-minute mark, they have Roshan perfectly available for them, and there's really just nothing to stop them. They're going to keep on pushing through. They're going to get the medallion up on Abaddon. That's going to enable the Rosh, and yeah, it's DD are going to be huddled inside their base from the 14-minute point onward.
Yeah, and now we're seeing that huge tower gold momentum really making a difference in the inventories. Core items coming out all over the place. The Orchid, the Yules, as you mentioned, the medallion on top of the urn. It looks like Omni Knight going for a Force Staff or a Dagon. A little hard to say. It could be one or the other, but maybe even a Yules, but does have that Sapphire Wizardry already. Side of Dream Destroyers, Drum of Endurance, their only real item completed. It's on the Spectre. Zeus, I guess, has Arcane Boots if you want to count those, but as your solo mid, a little bit rough to see him without any other items in the inventory.
So this strategy certainly paying off so far, getting all this gold momentum behind them, and we're just going to be seeing some hard offensive take-ups from this point forward for Fear as well as for Arteezy. They don't really have anything to fear with a repel on their back and with the Abaddon shield nearby as well. But we do see, at least down bottom, there's some potential here with the Stampede to move on top of Arteezy, and he does have to kind of keep himself off the lane for now.
Go back up appropriately, and looks like he'll be moving into a couple of null tallies, 2 mantles of intelligence, perhaps just earlier pickups, not sure when he grabbed those, but just commencing the extra right click, and he already hits hard. About 170 a pop is not too shabby for the 14-minute mark. As Fear now 2,000 gold up on the latest move. Arteezy's there with Treants. They've got the medallion, so as you pointed out, Roche will fall very quickly.
Yeah, there's really no way they can contest. Even going in with like the Haunt and the Thunder God's Wrath, they're not going to be able to do much. They're all grouped up together. The arrow, unfortunately, doesn't matter too much. But this raining Shadow Poison actually will hurt quite a bit if he gets a lot of stacks up. He's got 3 points in it, but he just dispels it off, and it's not going to get to the high numbers. But a
snatches the Aegis. It'll cost him his life, but he does grab it at the very least. Fanny will probably die once more. No leap available. Yeah, no way you're getting out of that one.
Ooh.
So cute little play there. Will it be enough to really change much of the state of this game? I say nay, but still fun anyhow. As Shadow Demon, he gets off the disruption on Fear and then gets chopped down by Mist Coil and some of those Arteezy auto attacks.
At this rate, EG aren't going to need the Aegis because nobody's going to die in the first place. So at that point, it's a dead resource. It's unnecessary in these exchanges, but we see the big exorcism come out. This tier 3 dropping extremely rapidly. Their only counter push, the Shadow Poison, not up for another few seconds, and yeah, they should not be pursuing and diving past like this line here, but just taking the racks, they can do this clean and clear, arrows or not. The Bloody Nine coming in, trying to test that theory, gets caught in the Sprout in with the Orchid as well.
Yeah, ultimate from Zeus doing a fair bit of damage here. The Centaur will actually TP home, but there's your Guardian Angel out from the universe. That'll keep everyone safe and sound, though. To be honest, not a lot of physical damage was coming their way as he pops the ultimate. Now EG chipping away at the heroes, and we'll start to just focus on the racks. There is not a glyph. Arrow comes flying through and will be off the mark. Trees out on Fanny as he gets caught by the Orchid. They'll start flicking him down. Do they have the damage? I don't think the Soul Burn will be enough to finish him off. No, it certainly won't. But EG still getting what they came for here as the melee racks have fallen. Range racks to go down shortly after. And there it is. Destroyers have had enough. GG. 15 minutes. Evil Geniuses with a very interesting draft secure a dominating win.
And that will secure tier 1 seed for Evil Geniuses. They are going to be going up against the 4th seed team when we get down to the playoff brackets, which I'm not exactly sure the date on that, but this being the last day of the group stages here, they can't have been happier about it. Obviously, they had a bit of a rough and tumble with the Snog game yesterday, but at the same time, they get the best result they can.
Yeah. Wow. Well, showing us some of the power of these heroes and the maximum sustained death ball. It's pretty ridiculous, especially against a late game hero like Spectre. Poor Justin, man. He ended 2-0-1 for what it was worth. He played well in that short game, 82 last hits. Did just about everything a Spectre could hope for, but it fell apart everywhere else.
Yeah, they needed something that could actually go for some counter split push, where essentially he could just kind of go 1 versus 0 on the tower down bottom, maybe take 1 or 2 for himself, and then he could have actually forced some TP retreats. But as it was, Evil Geniuses had no reason to stop just going straight forward, set their sights on a single target, and go for it all out. So yeah, they definitely needed to look into something that was more global, more counter pushy, but in this case, it is going to be the Evil Geniuses taken away very cleanly.
Yep. So we'll have 2 more games coming up today, a long break. Our next game scheduled to start in 45 minutes. It will be CNB